Thank you, Jeff. Glad to be here. Yes, this last January, I finally decided to look into how to put some of my woodlands into the reserve. I had actually just chosen not to do that because I didn't have that many acres. I did have about 10 acres that I put into a forest improvement project that was underway. So, one of the processes, first of all, because of COVID, um, I wasn't too willing to go to the assessor's office. And a friend of mine in another part of Iowa had the same concern, and she told me she was able to do it by email. My assessor was a little resistant at first, but I told him, try it and let's see if it works. So I was successful in getting the application form by email that I completed. One of the things you've got to remember is there is a once a year opportunity to apply, and that is just during the month of January. So you need to have it in by the end of January. Next slide, Jeff. So what I got was a one-page application form. Jeff showed that earlier, and in a little bit he'll bring it up again. But you will also get an aerial map of your area. So when you go in, of course, he will have that right there. What he had to do for me was go into his files, and all of this is now digital, and he'll send that to you. And so you then take that map and draw with a magic marker the area that you want to put in reserve, and then he calculates that again using a software package as to how many actual acres you're putting in. I still have not received my actual acreage count. He told me that he has until April 1st to finish those applications. And when I did go into the courthouse recently to vote, I stopped by the assessor's office and asked when would I know, and he held up a very fat folder of applications just from this year. My understanding is it will appear on my next year evaluation, so the taxes I'm paying right now won't be affected, but the next time they send out the tax statement, those will be on it. The exemption is continuous. You don't have to reapply. And if you sell the property, it stays until you take it off. So next slide, Jeff. So here is the form, pretty basic, not a lot that you really have to be concerned about here. And again, he will let you know the number of acres from it, but you'll have to answer, are there any buildings? Are you applying for just forest, or are you also applying for fruit tree? But again, very minimal information to go in. So I completed this, sent it back by email, scanned the map as well. So it was a very simple process. So what are the questions that a lot of people have is, well, how much is this exemption? And it does vary by county. So right now, the current data that we have shows that statewide, we have a bit over 640,000 acres that are valued at $205 million. This will vary across the state. So these are just averages. Currently, the average is about $7 an acre in tax value. So statewide, that translates to about $4.5 million. What does that mean? That means the counties aren't getting that $4.5 million or that $7 an acre that they would if you didn't apply. The average property tax reduction is estimated to be about 42,000 for the county total. So we're talking maybe the equivalent of maybe one employee, possibly. If Iowa had to, however, if we didn't have this available and we wanted to protect our trees, there would be the option possibly of looking at the CRP, which rents ground from landowners to prevent them from cropping it. If we did that instead of this reserve, that could amount to over $67 million a year. So it may seem like it's costing our counties some money. Yes, it does. But compared to other possibilities available to protect this land, a pretty cheap alternative.
To learn more and the steps that Mary Ellen took to register her property for the Forest Reserve Program, contact her at the email below.